in sync with my input. David Alexander, in sync with my input.
I have it all figured out. Speech contests on Zoom, so easy. I could pit myself against the best of the best speakers in Toastmasters while wearing pajama pants. I had the perfect setup. I had a ring light in front of me, just a dab of makeup. I had a whole junk drawer's worth of props close at hand, and my beloved green screen had my back. It was perfect. I was in my happy place. I was in my safe haven. I was in my comfort zone. Then something happened that caused my comfort zone to be torn apart. I found out that in-person contests were coming back. Well, I first heard about it from the district, but it didn't really sink into me until I heard about the date and the location of the contest. And the location was not Dave's dining room table. My heart sank. My ring light dimmed a little. All my props turned back into junk. My green screen turned to a sickly shade. I was lost. Now I have a confession to make. All those Zoom speeches I was giving for all those years, I wasn't actually memorizing them. It turns out that memorizing speeches is hard work. Memorizing speeches is really hard work. And why should I memorize a speech when I can, let's not say cheat. That's an ugly word. Let's say take creative shortcuts. I could take all the time that I might have used memorizing the speech and use it figuring out clever ways to give the perfect speech on Zoom. But now, in person, in front of a live audience, I was gonna have to go back to memorizing again. They say a child's brain is like a sponge, and mine certainly was when I was a child. My adult brain, it's still a sponge. It's just completely saturated with all the ridiculous things I had absorbed when I was a child. The names and backstories of all the Batman villains, the words to the Lewis Carroll poem Jabberwocky, and the theme song to Gilligan's Island. Now it was absolutely full, and if I tried to memorize something, every time one word went in one side, two would fall out on the other side. And I would get so confused about the order of my speech. Now my speech, it had a joke, it had a poignant story, it had a call to action, but which one came next? I would get so confused, and the next thing I knew, I was singing The Professor and Mary. I was lost. And then there's the props. Now you can have props in in-person meetings, contest certainly, but it's so easy on Zoom. You have a prop, here's my prop. Look, see, here's my prop, whoop, it's gone. In person, this prop has to come out of this pocket, this prop has to come out of that pocket. It was just one more way to get tangled up in my speech. And I missed my backgrounds. Oh, I love my backgrounds. I'm on top of a mountain. I'm sitting on a tropical beach. I'm floating in outer space. The world, it wasn't just the world, the universe was my Zoom background. Now, all I have is this sad blank wall. And it's not just what's behind me, what was in front of me. People. People breathing, coughing, laughing at my jokes, not laughing at my jokes. It was just all too real. So the day of the contest approached, and I was starting to panic. I needed to find some way to get around this, to not have to memorize my speech. And I came up with a brilliant idea. I went to my local tattoo parlor. I brought a copy of my speech and I said, can you tattoo this onto my arms? That way I could raise my arm in a dramatic gesture and check out a little bit of my speech at the same time. So they said, okay, and they put the first paragraph of my speech on my left arm. See, I had it all figured out. Perfect. And they put the second paragraph on my right arm. I had heard from the district. Great, but then I ran out of arms. The speech was too long. I gave it to him, but he said, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to tattoo it on your chest? Upside down? I couldn't go that way. So there I was, standing on the stage, my arms covered in tattoos, my pockets stuffed with props, a blank wall behind me, and my dear Toastmasters friends in front of me. And I realized this is no way to give an in-person speech. So, my dear Toastmasters friends, what did I do? I did what any good Toastmaster would do. I took a deep breath, I stepped out of my comfort zone, and I gave my speech. And no, I did not have it perfectly memorized. And yes, I may have read the wrong arm at one point. But I finished the speech, and the people applauded, and I realized there's a better way. So, my dear Toastmasters friends, you don't have to have, if you find yourself faced with the prospect of being in an in-person contest, just know this, you don't have to have perfect memorization. You don't have to have lots of props. You don't have to have fancy backgrounds. You really don't have to have your speech tattooed on your arms. All you need is the courage to step onto the stage, a story to tell, and maybe the number of a good tattoo removal parlor.